True wealth is not about where you start. It's about the discipline you build and the actions you repeat every single day. So many people believe they can't get ahead because they're starting from nothing, but that's not the truth. Every person who is financially free today once stood where you are right now, with questions, doubts, and struggles. The difference is they made a choice to change how they handle money, and they committed to it daily. In this video, you're going to learn how to take control of your finances step by step, how to set clear money goals, protect your savings, build new income streams, and invest in ways that actually work. You'll see how small, consistent actions turn into financial freedom when you stick to them long enough. If you've ever felt tired of living on repeat and you're ready to take back control of your money, this is exactly where your change begins. Chapter 1. Start with clear goals and focus on daily action. When you start from zero, the very first thing you need is not money in the bank, not a business idea, not even the perfect opportunity. The very first thing you need is a goal, a clear, defined, non-negotiable goal. If you do not decide where you are going, you will keep drifting in circles. Too many people walk through life without setting real financial goals, and as a result, they end up spending years doing a lot, but achieving very little. Wealth is not built by accident. It is built with intention. So, the first step is to stop, think, and decide with absolute clarity what you want to achieve with your financial life. Think about this. If you are starting from zero, you cannot afford to be vague. Saying you want more money is not a goal. Saying you want to be rich is not a goal. A goal must be something you can measure, something you can see progress in, something that can tell you when you are on track or off track. For example, you might decide your first goal is to save $1,000. It sounds simple, but it creates focus. Or maybe your goal is to increase your monthly income by $200 through a side hustle. That is specific. That gives you something to work toward. Clarity gives you power. Without clarity, your mind has nothing to aim at. Think about how you feel when you know exactly what needs to be done. You feel a sense of direction. You feel a pull. But when you are unclear, you feel scattered and unmotivated. The same psychology applies to money. People who build wealth have a crystal clear vision of where they are going financially. They do not hope. They plan. They do not wait. They decide. Once you decide on your goal, the next key is daily action. This is where most people fail. They start with excitement, but they cannot stay consistent. And the truth is, wealth is not built in one day or even 1 month. Wealth is the result of thousands of daily actions stacked over time. Each day matters. Each decision matters. Each choice to spend or save, to invest or waste, to learn or ignore, that is what builds the foundation of financial success. So how do you focus on daily action? Start by breaking your goal into steps so small that you cannot make an excuse not to do them. If your goal is to save $1,000, you could start by saving $3 a day. $3 will not make you rich, but it will build the habit. And that habit is far more valuable than the money itself in the beginning. Once you prove to yourself that you can take daily action, you can scale it. You can make it $5 a day, then 10, then 50. That is how you grow. Human psychology works like this. When we see progress, even if it is small, we gain motivation. The brain rewards us with a sense of accomplishment. That little sense of pride fuels us to keep going. But if you set goals too high and cannot reach them, you will give up. So the smart move is to focus on small daily wins. They compound. They build belief. And belief is the foundation of wealth. Ask yourself, what one thing can I do today to move closer to financial freedom? Not next week, not next year, today. If you answer that question daily and take action, You will be amazed at the results over time. Wealth is not a mystery. It is the result of repeated actions performed with focus and discipline. Many people sabotage their own progress because they wait for motivation. They think they need to feel inspired before they take action. That is backwards. You take action first, and motivation follows. When you take that small daily step, you create momentum. And momentum is what pulls you forward on the hard days when you do not feel like trying. There will be days you do not want to look at your expenses. There will be days you do not want to cook at home and prefer to spend money eating out. There will be days you do not want to save or study a new skill. That is normal. You are human. But the difference between those who build wealth and those who stay broke is the ability to act regardless of feeling. Discipline is doing what needs to be done whether you feel like it or not. And discipline is built by keeping promises to yourself daily. If you want to build wealth from zero, the first promise you must make is this: I will take at least one financial action every day, no matter how small. That might be saving a few coins. That might be writing down your spending. That might be learning one new thing about money. That might be working one extra hour on your side hustle. The size does not matter. The consistency does. Because each action is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. Every small action says, I am someone who is building wealth. Think about how empowering it feels to wake up knowing your day has purpose. Instead of living passively, you live intentionally. Instead of letting money control you, you start controlling money. That feeling of control is what builds confidence. And confidence is critical when you are starting from zero, because in the beginning, you do not have results. You only have faith. Daily action turns faith into results. Now, let's talk about the emotional side. When you are starting from zero, it is easy to feel overwhelmed. You look at people who already have money, who are already ahead, and you feel discouraged. You might even feel shame about where you are. But remember this: every wealthy person you see started at zero. Nobody was born with a portfolio. They built it. And the only way they built it was by setting clear goals and taking consistent action. You are no different. You may have different circumstances, but you also have the same human capacity to learn, to grow, and to act. One of the most powerful emotions you can use is pride in progress. Even if your progress seems small, allow yourself to feel proud. If you saved $10 today that you would have wasted yesterday, that is growth. If you studied a skill for 1 hour instead of scrolling on your phone, that is growth. If you tracked your expenses honestly for the first time, that is growth. These small wins matter. Celebrate them, because what you celebrate, you repeat. Another emotional trigger is fear. If you continue doing what you are doing, where will you be in 5 years? If you spend everything you earn, if you stay stuck in the same habits, what will life look like? That fear can either paralyze you or push you. Use it to push you. Remind yourself that financial pain is real. Struggling to pay bills is real. Stressing over debt is real. You do not want to live that way forever. That fear should be strong enough to get you moving. But once you move, shift your focus to the positive. Shift to the daily wins, the sense of progress, the vision of freedom. Vision is what keeps you on track. Write your financial goal down. Look at it daily. Make it part of your identity. You are not just someone trying to survive, you are someone building wealth. You are not just saving money, you are securing your future. You are not just cutting waste, you are taking control of your life. That identity shift is critical, because the way you see yourself determines how you act. If you want to change your financial future, change how you see yourself today. Start saying to yourself, I am someone who builds wealth from zero. Say it until you believe it. Then prove it with your daily actions. The belief will grow stronger with each win. Over time, those small wins will add up to big results. So remember this: wealth starts with clarity. Wealth grows with daily action. Do not underestimate the power of small, consistent steps. Do not waste your life waiting for the perfect time. Do not let feelings dictate your future. Set clear goals. Take action every single day. Build momentum, build confidence, build wealth. When you look back 5 years from now, you will not remember the days you hesitated. You will remember the day you decided. You will remember the day you stopped drifting and chose to act. And that choice, backed by daily action, will change your financial life forever. Chapter 2. Track every expense daily and master your money flow. If you want to change your financial life, one of the most important steps you can take is to gain control over where your money goes. Most people think their problem is that they don't earn enough. But the truth is, many people lose wealth not because of low income, but because of poor money management. They allow money to slip through their fingers without ever realizing how much is wasted. If you want to build wealth from zero, you must first take charge of your money flow. And that starts with tracking every expense you make. When you begin to track your spending, something powerful happens. You bring awareness to your financial habits. You stop guessing and you start knowing. You stop saying, "I don't know where all my money goes," and instead you see clearly, line by line, where it actually goes. This level of awareness is uncomfortable at first, but it is the very thing that frees you. You cannot change what you refuse to face. The moment you write down every dollar that leaves your hand, you see the truth, and truth creates power. Tracking expenses daily is not about making your life difficult. It's about putting yourself in charge. Think of how you feel when you don't know how much is in your account. You feel stressed. You hesitate before making purchases. You wonder if you have enough, but you don't know for sure. That uncertainty eats away at your confidence. But when you track, when you know exactly what you spent and what you have left, that stress disappears. Clarity creates calm, and calm gives you the power to make smarter decisions. Start simple. Keep a notebook, or use an app, or even the notes section of your phone. The tool doesn't matter. What matters is consistency. Every time you spend money, no matter how small, write it down. The coffee, the snack, the subscription, the transport fare, everything must be tracked. When you do this for a week, you'll be shocked at what you see. You'll notice patterns. You'll realize how much is being spent on things you don't even care about. This moment of realization is a turning point. Because once you see where your money is going, you can choose to redirect it toward your goals. Most people believe that tracking expenses is about limiting fun, but the opposite is true. Tracking gives you freedom. Imagine being able to spend on something you enjoy without guilt, because you know you've already covered your savings and responsibilities. That's real freedom. The problem is not buying coffee or eating out. The problem is doing it unconsciously, without knowing the real cost over time. When you track, you remove guilt and replace it with choice. Think about this. If you save just $5 a day by cutting unnecessary expenses, that's over $800 a year. $5 doesn't seem like much in the moment, but tracked over a year, it becomes a powerful tool. And once you master the small amounts, you build discipline for larger amounts. The daily tracking habit trains your brain to think about money differently. You start asking yourself before every purchase, is this aligned with my goals, or is this just a moment of weakness? That question alone can save you thousands over a lifetime. Another powerful benefit of tracking is the sense of control it gives you. Many people live paycheck to paycheck not because their income is too low, but because they never tell their money where to go. They live reactively, spending without thought, and then wondering why there's nothing left. But when you track, you stop being reactive and start being proactive. You stop wondering and start deciding. You stop hoping and start managing. That shift changes everything. Now, let's talk about the discipline it builds. Tracking every expense every day may feel uncomfortable at first, but discomfort is what shapes you. It forces you to confront habits you might have ignored for years. It forces you to admit the small leaks that are destroying your financial boat. You cannot build wealth if your money leaks out faster than it comes in. By tracking daily, you plug the leaks. You start to control the flow. You build the discipline to live with intention instead of impulse. There's also a psychological transformation that comes with tracking. Every time you write down an expense, you are reminding yourself that money is valuable. You are telling your brain, I am paying attention. And when you pay attention, your mind begins to respect money more. The unconscious spending that used to be automatic becomes uncomfortable. You think twice. You start valuing the money you once wasted. This is how habits shift. Awareness creates discipline, and discipline creates wealth. One of the reasons people fail financially is because they underestimate small amounts. They think a few dollars here and there don't matter, but small amounts are what shape your financial future. Most fortunes are lost in small decisions, not big ones, and most fortunes are built in small steps, not giant leaps. Daily tracking teaches you this truth. It makes you respect both the small and the large. It helps you realize that every dollar has power. To master your money flow, you also need to categorize your spending. Once you track for a week or two, look at your list and group your expenses. Food, housing, transport, entertainment, subscriptions, savings. When you see the categories, you see clearly where your money is being drained. Maybe you'll realize half of your income is going to eating out. Maybe you'll notice you're paying for subscriptions you don't even use. Maybe you'll see that entertainment costs are higher than savings. These insights give you the power to act. Once you see it, you can adjust it. You can make cuts in areas that don't add value to your life and redirect that money into savings, investments, or skill building. Think about the confidence that comes when you know exactly how much you spend, how much you save, and how much you can invest. You don't guess anymore. You don't hope anymore. You know. That knowledge creates peace of mind. It allows you to make decisions without fear. You can buy something without guilt because you know it fits in your plan. You can save with pride because you see progress. You can invest with courage because you have control. Another key point is that tracking your expenses daily creates momentum. In the beginning, it feels small, but after a month, you will see patterns. After 3 months, you'll see habits. After 6 months, you'll see transformation. The act of writing down expenses every day builds a chain of discipline that becomes hard to break. You will begin to feel proud of the habit itself, and that pride keeps you going. Eventually, it stops feeling like work and starts feeling natural. That is when you know you've truly mastered your money flow. There will be days you forget, days you get lazy, days you want to avoid writing down a purchase because it feels embarrassing. Those are the most important days to track, because those days reveal the truth. If you can stay disciplined on the days you don't want to, then you are truly building the strength that will carry you to wealth. Every time you track, even when you don't feel like it, you are proving to yourself that you are serious. And seriousness builds results. You might ask, how does this really help me build wealth from zero? The answer is simple. You cannot grow what you do not measure. If you want to increase income, if you want to save and invest, if you want to reach financial freedom, you need to know exactly where you stand. Tracking expenses daily gives you the foundation. It's like building a house. If the foundation is weak, everything collapses. Your expense tracking is the foundation of your financial house. It tells you what you can save, what you can invest, and what you must cut. Without it, everything else falls apart. When you look at wealthy people, you'll notice they know exactly where their money goes. They review it often. They do not treat money casually. They track it. They plan it. They control it. That is the difference between those who build wealth and those who only dream of it. You do not need to be a genius to track expenses. You only need discipline and honesty. If you can stay consistent with this one habit, your entire financial future will change. So begin today. Track your first expense. Write it down. Then the next. Then the next. By the end of the day, you'll have a list. By the end of the week, you'll have awareness. By the end of the month, you'll have control. And with control comes power. The power to shape your financial life the way you want it. From zero to wealth, the journey begins with knowing where every single dollar is going. This is how you master your money flow. You stop guessing, you stop hoping, and you start managing with clarity and discipline. Once you do this, every other step in building wealth becomes easier. Because now you have direction, now you have proof, now you have control. And once you take control of your money flow, you are no longer a victim of your spending. You become the master of it. And that mastery is the first true sign of wealth, no matter where you start.
Chapter 3. Save a set amount daily and stay fully consistent. If you are serious about building wealth from zero, you must learn the discipline of saving a set amount every single day. This is not about saving when you feel like it, and it is not about saving when you happen to have extra left over. This is about making saving a non-negotiable part of your life, as natural as breathing, eating, or waking up in the morning. The people who create financial freedom are not the ones who only save big sums once in a while. They are the ones who save consistently, regardless of the amount. Daily saving builds the foundation for everything else. The biggest mistake many people make is waiting for the perfect time to save. They tell themselves they will start saving once they earn more, once they pay off a certain bill, once they get a raise, once life becomes easier. But the truth is, if you cannot save when you have little, you will not save when you have more. Income does not change habits. Discipline changes habits. That is why starting with a small, set amount each day is so powerful. It trains you to respect money no matter how much you earn. Saving daily is less about the money itself in the beginning and more about the identity it builds in you. When you save a fixed amount every day, you are telling yourself that you are someone who is serious about your future. You are proving to yourself that you value tomorrow as much as today. Each small act of saving becomes a vote for the person you are becoming, disciplined, prepared, and focused on financial growth. The consistency shapes your character, and that character will shape your wealth. Start with an amount so small that you cannot make an excuse not to save it. It might be $1. It might be $5. It might be $10. The size doesn't matter nearly as much as the act of doing it daily. If you save $1 a day for 30 days, you have $30. It doesn't seem like much, but the point is that you've built the daily habit. Once that habit is in place, increasing the amount becomes natural. Habits grow stronger when repeated, and the stronger the habit, the easier it becomes to scale. When you save a fixed amount each day, you create a rhythm. The mind and body thrive on rhythm. Just as your health improves when you eat consistently and rest consistently, your financial health improves when you save consistently. The brain starts to accept saving as normal, as part of life. Soon you no longer argue with yourself about whether you can afford to save. You simply do it. That's the power of consistency. It removes decision-making and replaces it with certainty. Consistency is where most people fail. They get excited, save aggressively for a week, and then stop. or they save for 2 months, then use it all for something impulsive. Real wealth is not built on bursts of effort, it is built on long-term discipline. By saving daily, you avoid the trap of inconsistency. You remove the ups and downs. You turn wealth building into a lifestyle, not a project. Another benefit of daily saving is psychological security. Even if the amount feels small, there is power in knowing that each day you are putting something aside for your future. That security builds confidence. You walk differently when you know you have money set aside, even if it's modest. You feel less desperate, less fearful, less dependent on luck or others. Each day you save, you gain more independence, and independence is the root of wealth. There is also a practical advantage to saving daily. By breaking it into small amounts, you reduce the pressure. Many people struggle to save large sums because it feels heavy, almost impossible. But saving $5 today feels light, achievable, manageable. It is something anyone can do. That small, repeated action adds up over weeks, months, and years into something substantial. This principle allows even those with very little income to begin building wealth. And as income grows, the habit of saving is already in place. The truth is, saving is less about money and more about mindset. The world is full of people who earn large incomes and still live broke because they never built the saving habit. And the world is also full of people who started with almost nothing, but saved diligently every day and eventually reached financial freedom. The difference is consistency. The daily act of saving builds a discipline that money alone cannot give you. There will be temptations. You will feel the pull to spend the money instead of saving it. There will be days when you convince yourself that skipping one day won't matter. But wealth is not about what you do once in a while. It is about what you do daily. Skipping one day leads to skipping another. And soon the habit is gone. Protect your saving habit fiercely, because it is the seed of your financial growth. To stay consistent, create system, automate your savings. If you can, set up a separate account that you don't touch. Transfer your daily amount first thing in the morning, before you spend on anything else. If you handle cash, put your set amount aside physically in an envelope or jar. Make it tangible. The system is important because willpower is unreliable. Systems keep you consistent when your emotions try to pull you off track. One of the greatest feelings you will ever experience is looking back after a few months and seeing what your consistency has built. At first, the numbers seem small, but after 90 days of daily saving, you will see real progress. After a year, you will see proof that you can build wealth. And after several years, you will realize that this one habit has transformed your life. The power of small daily saving is not in the dollar amount, it is in the compound effect of years of discipline. When you save daily, you also gain the ability to handle emergencies. Too many people collapse financially because they have no cushion. One car repair, one medical bill, one missed paycheck, and they are drowning in debt. But if you've built a habit of daily saving, you create a shield, you create breathing room, you create peace of mind, and with peace of mind, you make better financial decisions. Desperation is expensive. Preparation is profitable. There is also pride in consistency. Each day you save, you build self-respect. You prove to yourself that you can control your impulses. You prove to yourself that you can delay gratification. That pride builds confidence, and confidence builds momentum. Soon you start asking yourself, what else can I be consistent with? That's when everything in life begins to change. Saving daily is the spark that ignites broader self-discipline. Remember, wealth is not built on one big decision. It is built on thousands of small decisions made daily. Each dollar saved is a brick in the foundation of your financial house. The more bricks you lay, the stronger the foundation becomes. The stronger the foundation, the more wealth you can build on top of it. Consistency makes your foundation unshakable. You may think, but my savings are too small to matter. Never underestimate the power of small beginnings. Every large account started with the first deposit. Every financial empire started with the first saved dollar. The important thing is not the size, it is the habit. And once the habit is strong, the size will grow naturally. The discipline of saving daily creates a ripple effect. It teaches you patience. It teaches you planning. It teaches you to think long-term instead of short-term. These lessons spill over into every other area of life. You start making better decisions, not just with money, but with time, with energy, with relationships. Saving daily is not just about building wealth. It's about building a stronger you. So make the commitment. Decide on your daily amount. Treat it like a sacred promise. Do it today. Do it tomorrow. And do it every day after that. Do it whether you feel like it or not. Do it whether the amount feels big or small. Do it until it becomes a part of who you are. Because once it becomes part of you, no one can take it away. 5 years from now, you will look back with gratitude that you started. You will see not only the money you saved, but the character you built. You will see the independence you gained, the confidence you developed, the discipline you mastered, and you will realize that saving a set amount daily was not just about money. It was about taking control of your life and proving to yourself that you have what it takes to build wealth from zero. This is the path. Daily saving, daily discipline, daily consistency. One small step repeated over time becomes a giant leap forward. Stay faithful to the habit, and it will reward you with freedom, security, and peace of mind. And that, above all, is what wealth truly is.
Chapter 4. Learn new skills that quickly increase your earning power. If you want to move from zero to financial growth, you cannot rely only on cutting costs or saving money. Those steps are important, but they will only take you so far. The truth is, there is a limit to how much you can save, but there is no limit to how much you can earn. That is why one of the most powerful steps you can take on your journey to wealth is to learn new skills that quickly increase your earning power. The world rewards people who bring value, and value comes from the skills you develop and apply. Every person who has ever built wealth has one thing in common: they became valuable in the marketplace. They found a way to make themselves useful, relevant, and necessary to others. If you want people to pay you more, you must give them a reason to. The reason is not how long you've worked, how loyal you've been, or how much you want money. The reason is the skills you bring to the table. When your skills solve problems for others, money flows to you. So ask yourself, what skills do I currently have that the world values, and what skills do I need to develop to increase that value? This is not about chasing degrees or certificates unless they serve your purpose. This is about focusing on practical, high-demand abilities that can improve your income quickly. Think of skills like communication, sales, digital marketing, coding, video editing, public speaking, financial literacy, copywriting, or even learning how to manage people. These are skills that businesses and individuals need every single day, and they are willing to pay for them. The exciting part is that in today's world, you do not need to wait years to acquire these skills. With the resources available, online courses, free tutorials, books and mentorship, you can learn at incredible speed. The barrier is not access. The barrier is commitment. Too many people spend hours scrolling on their phones, consuming entertainment, while telling themselves they don't have time to learn. But the truth is, every minute spent passively is a minute that could have been used to master a new skill. And every skill you master adds to your earning power. Think of how different your life would be if you committed just 1 hour every single day to learning. 1 hour a day for a year is 65 hours. That's more than enough time to master a skill that could double your income. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not intelligence. It is discipline. It is the decision to replace idle time with learning time.
That one choice separates people who stay stuck from people who move forward. There is also a psychological shift that happens when you start learning new skills. You begin to see yourself differently. You stop saying, "I can't," and you start saying, "I'm learning how." You build confidence with each small improvement. When you practice sales, the first few attempts feel awkward, but soon, you get better. You see yourself closing a deal you never thought possible. That moment changes how you feel about yourself. The same happens with communication, with technology, with leadership. Each skill you master adds another layer of confidence. And confidence is a magnet for opportunity. The marketplace does not care where you came from, what your background is, or what excuses you carry. It cares about what you can do. If you can bring results, you will be rewarded. And the only way to bring results is to continuously grow your skill set. Imagine two people doing the same job. One keeps doing only what is required. The other invests time in learning new tools, new systems, new strategies. Who do you think gets promoted? Who do you think gets offered new opportunities? Who do you think earns more? It is always the one who invests in skill growth. But do not think of skills only in terms of money. Skills also give you freedom. When you develop abilities that the world values, you are no longer dependent on one job, one employer, or one economy. You can adapt, you can shift, you can create opportunities for yourself. If you lose one income stream, your skills allow you to build another. That freedom is priceless. It protects you from uncertainty and keeps you moving forward, no matter what happens in the world. One of the traps many people fall into is waiting until they are forced to learn. They wait until they lose a job. They wait until their industry changes. They wait until it is almost too late. But those who rise are the ones who prepare in advance. They sharpen their skills before they are needed. They stay ahead, not behind. That is why you must start now. The skill you learn today may be the very thing that saves you tomorrow. Now let's talk about speed. When I say learn skills that quickly increase your earning power, I mean focus on skills that have direct impact. Do not waste time on things that will not help you in the marketplace. Be strategic. If you want to increase income quickly, ask yourself, what skills are people paying for right now? What industries are growing? What problems need solving? The answers to these questions point you to the skills worth learning. For example, if businesses need online presence, then skills like social media management, web design, or content creation are in demand. If companies need to sell products, then skills in marketing, persuasion, and copywriting are in demand. Learn what is in demand, and you make yourself valuable instantly. Another principle to remember is practice. Knowledge without practice is useless. Reading about a skill is not the same as applying it. You must practice daily. If you are learning sales, go out and sell. If you are learning writing, write every day. If you are learning technology, build projects. If you are learning communication, speak often. Real learning comes from doing. Each time you apply, you grow stronger. And the faster you practice, the faster your income grows. You may feel fear at first, fear of failing, fear of being embarrassed, fear of not being good enough. That is normal. Everyone feels it. But remember this, the pain of trying and failing is temporary. But the pain of never trying lasts forever. The person who tries and fails learns. The person who avoids trying stays stuck. If you want to rise, you must be willing to look foolish for a short time in order to grow strong for a lifetime. One of the best investments you can ever make is in yourself. Money spent on developing skills is never wasted. It pays dividends for the rest of your life. But beyond money, the real cost is time. You must invest your time wisely. Every hour you spend learning and practicing is an hour building your future. Every hour you waste is an hour strengthening your excuses. Choose wisely. Another important point is networking through skills. When you learn new abilities, you open doors to new communities, new relationships, new mentors. Skills create opportunities not only for income, but also for connection. And connections lead to partnerships, collaborations, and growth. Many people rise faster because they combine skill with relationships. They meet others who recognize their value and open doors for them. This is another reason why learning new skills is so powerful. It expands your world. Over time, as your skills grow, you begin to stack them. One skill makes you valuable, but stacking multiple skills makes you unstoppable. For example, being good at writing is valuable. Being good at writing and marketing is even more valuable. Add in communication and leadership, and your value multiplies. The more skills you combine, the more rare you become, and rarity is rewarded in the marketplace. So here is the challenge. Choose one skill today that can increase your earning power quickly. Commit to learning it daily. Practice it until it becomes natural. Do not stop until you can monetize it. Then once you've mastered it, add another. Keep stacking, keep growing, keep increasing your value. Each skill you gain makes you less replaceable, less vulnerable, and more in control of your future. Remember, wealth does not come to those who wish. It comes to those who prepare. Your preparation is your skills. Your skills are your tools. And the more tools you have, the more problems you can solve. The more problems you solve, the more wealth you create. It all starts with learning, applying and staying consistent. If you truly want to change your financial life, stop waiting for luck or opportunity. Start creating opportunity by becoming more skilled. Each day is a chance to learn. Each day is a chance to practice. Each day is a chance to increase your value. The people who choose to use each day to grow will be the ones who create the future they desire. You can be one of them. All it takes is the decision to learn a new skill and the discipline to stay with it until it changes your earning power.
Chapter 5. Create side income streams that give you extra money. If you want to build wealth from zero, one of the smartest decisions you can make is to create side income streams that put extra money in your pocket. Depending on just one paycheck or one business is risky. If that source stops, your entire life gets shaken. But when you have multiple ways of earning, you protect yourself, you increase your security, and you speed up your financial growth. Side income is not only about having more cash today, it is about creating choices and freedom for tomorrow. The truth is, most people underestimate how much they can do outside of their main job. They think they are too busy, too tired, or too limited in skills to earn extra money. But the reality is, we all have time we waste, talents we ignore, and opportunities we overlook. Every person has something they can turn into a side income. The key is to look at your life differently. Instead of asking, "Can I do this?" ask, "How can I use what I already know, or what I can learn to create another stream of income?" That shift in thinking opens doors. Side income starts with creativity. Look at your skills, your hobbies, your strengths. Do you know how to cook well? You could prepare meals for people who don't have time. Do you enjoy writing? You could offer freelance services online. Do you have good communication skills? You could try tutoring, coaching, or selling products. Do you have a car? You could deliver groceries or drive part-time. The options are endless, but most people never explore them because they accept the idea that a job is their only way to earn. Wealth builders don't accept that. They constantly ask, "What else can I do to bring in money?" The power of a side income is not just in the money itself, but in the habits it builds. When you earn from multiple streams, you begin to see yourself differently. You stop thinking of yourself as limited to one role, one employer, or one source.
You see yourself as a creator of value. That change in identity builds confidence. Suddenly, you realize you are capable of more than you thought. That confidence then pushes you to try even more opportunities, and the cycle continues. One important part of creating side income is to start small. Too many people try to jump into something huge right away and get discouraged. You do not need to build a massive business overnight. What you need is to start with something simple that earns a little extra. That extra, when saved or invested, accelerates your wealth building journey. Over time, small streams can grow into larger rivers, but it all begins with the decision to start. For example, imagine you create a side hustle that makes just $50 a week. That may not seem like much at first, but that's $200 a month and $2,400 a year. If you save or invest that, it begins to grow. Add another side stream that brings in $100 a month, and now you have even more. Layering side income streams builds momentum. What feels small today becomes significant tomorrow. Another key benefit of side income is that it reduces pressure on your main income. When every bill depends only on one paycheck, stress builds. But if you know you have additional money coming in, you feel more secure. That security reduces fear and allows you to make smarter choices. You are no longer desperate, you are in control. And control is what gives you freedom. Some people say they don't want to work more hours, but creating side income is not always about working harder. Sometimes it's about working smarter. For instance, you can create digital products like ebooks, courses or templates that sell online while you sleep. You can invest time in building something once and then earn from it repeatedly. This kind of leverage is powerful because it breaks the direct link between time and money. The more you build streams that can operate without constant effort, the faster you move toward financial independence. Side income also exposes you to new skills and new people. When you take on a side project, you learn things your main job may never teach you. You learn about customer service, marketing, time management, and problem solving. These lessons expand your value in every area of life. They also connect you with people outside your usual circle. New people bring new opportunities, and opportunities often lead to more income. The more you put yourself out there, the more doors open. Another powerful reason to build side income streams is to use them for specific goals. For example, you might decide that every dollar from your side hustle goes into savings or investments. This way, your wealth grows without touching your main income. Over time, this strategy creates a powerful snowball effect. Your side streams build assets. Your assets create more income, and eventually you reach financial freedom. Consistency is the secret. Many people try a side hustle for a month, don't see quick results, and quit. But wealth does not appear instantly. It rewards those who stay consistent. Even if your side stream grows slowly, keep going. Remember, each extra dollar is more than you had before. Each step forward counts. Over months and years, it adds up to something significant. There will be challenges. You will face setbacks. Not every idea will work. Some attempts will fail, but failure is not the end. It's the feedback that guides you toward better ideas. Each failure teaches you what doesn't work and pushes you closer to what does. The people who win are the ones who keep trying until they find the right fit. Side income is not about getting everything right the first time. It's about persistence. The best time to start building side income is now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel ready. You will never feel completely ready. You must begin with what you have and where you are. Take one skill, one idea, one resource, and use it to create something extra. The sooner you start, the sooner you build momentum. One day, that side income may become your main income. Many successful entrepreneurs started with something small on the side. They didn't quit their jobs immediately. They built slowly, tested ideas, and grew their streams until they were strong enough to stand on their own. That path is available to you too, but it requires courage, discipline, and daily action. Think of how it will feel when your extra income starts covering bills. Imagine the pride when your side stream pays for your investments, your education, or even your vacation. Picture the security of knowing you are not dependent on one source of money. That feeling of independence is priceless. And it begins with the simple act of creating one extra stream. Side income also teaches you ownership. When you build something yourself, you feel responsible for it. That responsibility builds character. You no longer think only as an employee. You start thinking as a creator, a builder, an owner. That mindset shift is one of the most valuable gifts you will ever give yourself, because once you think like an owner, you will never go back to thinking like a victim of circumstances. So ask yourself today, what side income stream can I begin with? Don't overthink it. Don't wait for perfection. Choose something simple and start. Each day you delay is another day you stay dependent. Each day you take action is another step toward freedom. You have skills, resources, and opportunities you may not see yet. Look for them, use them, turn them into income. Over time your side streams will grow. They will multiply. They will provide you with choices you never had before. You'll be able to save more, invest more, and live with less stress. You will no longer fear a job loss or an economic shift, because you will know you have multiple ways to earn. That is real wealth. That is real freedom. And it is available to you if you decide to start today. Building wealth from zero requires discipline, creativity, and courage. Creating side income streams combines all three. It forces you to think differently, to act boldly, and to stay consistent. But the rewards are worth it. Extra money, more security, and a future you control. Remember, nobody becomes wealthy by accident. Wealth comes to those who build it with intention. One of the best tools for building it is side income. So begin now. Find that one idea, that one skill, that one opportunity you can turn into a stream. Put in the work, stay consistent, and let it grow. With time, those extra streams will transform your financial life. They will give you strength, freedom, and the power to live on your own terms. That is the promise of creating side income, and that promise is waiting for you to claim it.
Chapter 6. Invest simple and steady to grow long-term wealth. If you want to truly build wealth that lasts, saving alone is not enough. Saving keeps your money safe, but investing makes your money grow. If you want to move from just surviving to living with financial freedom, you must learn how to invest simple and steady for the long term. Too many people believe investing is complicated, risky, or only for the rich. But the truth is, investing is for anyone who wants to build a better future. And the earlier you start, the more powerful the results become. The first thing to understand is that investing is not about chasing fast returns or gambling with your hard-earned money. It is about building a long-term system that grows quietly and consistently over time. The people who get rich quickly often lose it just as quickly, but the people who grow their wealth steadily build something solid that cannot be shaken by small setbacks. Wealth that lasts is created by discipline, patience, and strategy, not luck. To invest effectively, you must keep it simple. Complicated strategies often confuse people and lead them to quit. Simple strategies build consistency. For example, buying shares of strong companies or low-cost index funds, and holding them for years has created wealth for millions. Real estate, when chosen wisely, has done the same. You don't need to understand every financial detail in the world. You need to pick a few sound options. Stay steady and give time the chance to work for you. The reason investing works is because of growth that builds on itself year after year. Each dollar you invest earns returns, and then those returns earn more returns. Over years and decades, this compounding creates results that feel almost unbelievable.
But this only happens when you are steady. If you keep pulling your money out or stopping your investments, you cut off the compounding process. That is why discipline matters more than brilliance. Even a simple, consistent investment strategy beats a complicated one that is not followed. One of the biggest challenges new investors face is impatience. You invest, you look after a few weeks, and you don't see much change. You feel like it's not working. But building wealth is not about days or weeks, it's about years and decades. If you stay committed, if you keep investing small amounts regularly, you will wake up years later with a portfolio that can give you freedom. But you have to trust the process and stay steady even when progress feels slow. Another important point is to avoid putting all your money into one thing. Diversifying is key. It doesn't mean you need to spread yourself too thin, but it does mean you should not rely on a single investment. A healthy mix of stocks, bonds, real estate, or even small businesses spreads the risk and gives you more stability. This way, if one area struggles, the others can keep you moving forward. Do not think you need a lot of money to start investing. That belief stops people from ever beginning. You can start with very little. Even a few dollars invested regularly can grow into something significant over time. What matters most is not the size of the investment, but the habit of doing it consistently. Once the habit is strong and your income grows, you can increase the amount. The most important thing is to begin. Psychology plays a big role in investment. Fear and greed ruin more financial futures than bad investments. Fear makes people sell too soon, and greed makes them take reckless risks. To invest successfully, you need emotional discipline. You must remind yourself that ups and downs are part of the process. Markets rise, markets fall, but over the long term they grow. If you panic every time prices drop, you will never give your investments the time they need to mature. Patience is your greatest tool. Investing also teaches you responsibility. When you put your money into something, you feel ownership. That ownership pushes you to learn more, to make wiser decisions, to think ahead. Over time, you develop a mindset of growth. Instead of spending every dollar, you start thinking about how each dollar can work for you. That shift in mindset is one of the greatest benefits of investing. It changes how you see money completely. Another advantage of investing is that it creates passive income. When your investments grow enough, they begin to pay you dividends from stocks, rent from real estate, or profits from businesses can give you income even while you sleep. That is the real definition of financial freedom, earning without trading all your time for money. But to reach that point, you must first be willing to put in the effort, stay consistent, and wait for the results. Some people think investing is only for experts, but the truth is, information is more available today than ever before. You don't need to be a financial genius to invest. You just need to be willing to learn the basics, choose simple strategies, and stay disciplined. In fact, many everyday people who stayed steady with simple investments are wealthier than highly educated people who tried to outsmart the system and failed. Simplicity and consistency often win. Think about how much stress you can avoid when your investments are growing. You no longer depend completely on one job. You no longer live paycheck to paycheck. You no longer fear every unexpected expense. Your investments give you stability. They give you options. They give you peace of mind. That peace is priceless. It gives you freedom to make choices based on what you want, not only on what you can afford. Another key factor in long-term investing is reinvestment. When your investments earn returns, don't rush to spend them. Put them back into the system. Reinvesting is how growth accelerates. Each reinvested dollar creates more returns, and over years, the growth becomes powerful. The temptation to spend is strong, but discipline will reward you far more. Always think of your investments as seeds. If you eat the seeds, the growth ends. If you replant them, the harvest keeps multiplying. There is also wisdom in seeking advice. While you don't need to be an expert, learning from people who have walked the path can save you from costly mistakes. Mentors, books, courses, or even financial advisors can help you avoid traps and stay focused. But remember, no one will care about your money as much as you do. At the end of the day, you must take responsibility and make the decisions. Never hand over full control without understanding. Investing steady also builds character. It teaches patience, discipline, and the ability to think long-term. These qualities spill over into every other area of your life. The same mindset that helps you hold on to investments during tough times also helps you stay strong in personal challenges. Wealth is not just money in the bank. It is the strength and discipline you build along the way. So how do you begin? Choose a simple path. Open an account for investing. Decide on an amount you can commit regularly, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly. Put it in consistently. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for the market to look ideal. The best time to start is when you decide. Then stick to it. Add more when you can. Stay committed for years. That is how fortunes are built, from small, steady steps that never stop. One day, you will look back and realize that what once seemed small has turned into something life-changing. You will see the power of your patience, the strength of your consistency, and the reward of your discipline. Your investments will not just represent money. They will represent your journey, your choices, your growth. And the best part is, anyone can do this. You don't need to be born rich. You don't need perfect timing. You need only the courage to start and the strength to stay steady. Building wealth is not about speed. It is about direction and persistence. Investing simple and steady gives you both. It may not look glamorous, but it is powerful. It may not feel fast, but it is certain. And certainty is what gives you true financial freedom. Decide today to become an investor, no matter how small the start. Let your money grow alongside your discipline. Over time, you will create a life of freedom, stability, and abundance. That is the promise of long-term investing, and that promise is waiting for you to claim it.
Chapter 7. Destroy all debts early and protect your future money. Debt is one of the biggest enemies of wealth. If you want to build financial freedom, you must take debt seriously and make it your mission to eliminate it as early as possible. Debt robs you of your future because every dollar you owe is a dollar already promised to someone else. When you live in debt, your hard work is not fully yours. You work for the lender, the bank, or the credit company instead of working for yourself. And as long as you allow debt to control your money, you cannot fully build wealth. To destroy debt early is to take back ownership of your life and secure the money you will need for your future. One of the reasons debt is so dangerous is that it feels normal. Society has made borrowing acceptable, even encouraged. People borrow for cars, for gadgets, for vacations, for things that lose value the moment they are bought. And then they spend years paying for something that brings them no return. Credit card companies profit because people spend today without thinking about the cost tomorrow. The interest charged keeps you trapped, and what started as a small balance turns into years of payments. If you want freedom, you cannot fall into this trap. You must recognize that debt is not a tool for wealth. It is a chain that holds you back. The first step in destroying debt is to face it directly. Too many people avoid looking at the numbers because it feels painful, but ignoring it does not make it go away. You need to know exactly how much you owe, to whom, and at what interest rate. Write it all down. Be brutally honest. This is your financial reality. It may sting at first, but awareness is the beginning of control. Once you know the full picture, you can create a plan to eliminate it. Without a clear picture, you will continue drifting deeper. After facing the truth, you must commit to attacking your debt with intensity. Debt does not shrink by accident. It only disappears when you make it a top priority. Decide that debt repayment will come before unnecessary spending.
Decide that you will sacrifice comforts today for freedom tomorrow. This is not punishment, this is strategy. Every dollar you put toward debt is a dollar you free up for your future. The faster you destroy it, the sooner you can redirect that money into savings, investments, and opportunities. A powerful strategy is to focus on one debt at a time, while paying the minimum on the rest. You might choose to pay off the debt with the highest interest first, because that one costs you the most. Or you might choose to pay off the smallest balance first, to build momentum and confidence. Both methods work. The important thing is that you are consistent and aggressive. The goal is not just to pay, but to pay with urgency, because interest is like a leak in your financial ship. The longer you wait, the bigger the hole becomes. To free up more money for debt repayment, you must adjust your lifestyle. Look at your expenses and cut anything unnecessary. Cancel subscriptions you do not use. Eat at home more often. Delay buying new gadgets or clothes. Redirect every spare dollar toward your debt. It may feel tough in the short term, but remind yourself of the payoff. Imagine the relief of living without debt. Imagine the pride of knowing your income is fully yours. That vision will give you the strength to make sacrifices now. Another key is to avoid taking on new debt while paying off the old. Too many people work hard to reduce debt, only to add more by making new purchases. That cycle never ends. You cannot fill a bucket if there is still a hole in the bottom. Close the hole. Commit to living within your means. If you cannot afford something with cash, wait until you can. Patience is the discipline that protects you from falling back into debt. Destroying debt also requires a shift in how you see money. You must move from being a consumer to being a builder. Debt is the result of consuming more than you can afford. Wealth is the result of building more than you spend. Each payment toward debt is not just a transaction. It is a declaration of who you are becoming. You are becoming someone who refuses to be controlled by lenders. You are becoming someone who takes responsibility for their future. That identity shift is as important as the numbers themselves. There is also an emotional weight to debt. It creates stress, worry, and tension in your life. Many people lose sleep over unpaid bills. Relationships suffer under financial pressure. Dreams are delayed or destroyed because of obligations to creditors. When you pay off debt, you are not just freeing your wallet. You are freeing your mind. You are removing a burden that holds you back from peace and progress. The mental clarity that comes from being debt-free gives you energy and focus for bigger goals. It is important to remember that not all debt is the same. Some debt is destructive, like credit cards or loans for luxuries that lose value. Some debt can be strategic, like a mortgage for a property that grows in value, or a business loan that generates more income than it costs. But if you are starting from zero, focus on eliminating consumer debt first. Build your wealth on a clean foundation. Later, if you choose to use leverage for investments, do it wisely and only when you are financially educated. One practical way to accelerate debt repayment is to increase your income. Side hustles, freelance work, or extra hours can provide additional money to throw at your balances. The more you pay above the minimum, the faster your debt shrinks. Combine this with lifestyle adjustments, and you create a powerful force. Remember, every extra dollar used for debt today saves you multiple dollars in interest tomorrow. Accountability can also help. Share your debt-free goal with someone you trust, or even track your progress visibly on paper or a chart. Seeing the numbers go down creates motivation. Each milestone gives you momentum. Celebrate small wins, but stay hungry for the bigger goal. The finish line is worth every effort. Once you are free from debt, the key is to protect your future money. Do not return to old habits. Build an emergency fund, so you don't need to borrow again when unexpected expenses appear. Save consistently. Invest steadily. Keep your lifestyle below your income level. Freedom from debt is not just about reaching zero. It is about staying free. Protecting your future money means saying no to temptations that could pull you back into chains. There will be moments when you feel discouraged, when the mountain of debt seems too high. But remind yourself that every mountain is climbed one step at a time. Each payment is a step closer, each sacrifice is a step upward, and eventually, if you keep going, you will stand at the top and look back with pride. The day you make your final payment is one of the most empowering days of your life. It is proof that you have the discipline to win. When you destroy debt, you are not just fixing the past. You are creating a future. You are opening the door to save, to invest, to grow. You are protecting your future money from being drained by interest and lenders. You are giving yourself the power to choose how your money works, instead of letting debt decide for you. That is the kind of power that builds wealth from zero and carries you to true financial freedom.
Chapter 8. Build multiple income paths that secure your financial freedom. Relying on only one source of income is dangerous because the moment that source is interrupted, your entire life is shaken. If your job disappears, if the business slows down, or if the economy shifts, you are left exposed. Financial freedom does not come from depending on one paycheck or one stream. It comes from building multiple paths that keep money flowing no matter what happens. Having several streams of income is like having different roots for a tree. If one is cut off, the others still feed it. This is the security that comes with diversification, and it is one of the strongest foundations for lasting wealth. The truth is that most people never think beyond their main job. They put all their energy into one paycheck, and then hope that nothing goes wrong. Hope is not a strategy. If you want to secure your future, you must deliberately build other ways for money to reach you. The goal is not to work endlessly, but to design income paths that complement each other and give you flexibility. These streams might start small, but together they build stability and freedom. The first step is to shift your mindset. Instead of seeing yourself only as an employee or as a single business owner, start seeing yourself as a builder of income. You are not limited to one role. You have skills, knowledge, time, and opportunities that can be used in different ways. The question to ask yourself is not, can I build another stream, but which stream can I start building now? That shift in thinking changes everything. Building multiple income paths does not mean you need to juggle a dozen businesses overnight. It means creating additional flows gradually, one at a time, until you have several. Start by adding a side hustle or freelance work. Then once that grows stable, add investments that generate returns. Later, maybe create a digital product or a rental income. Over time, these streams layer on top of each other, and suddenly your financial life no longer depends on one fragile source. One benefit of multiple streams is peace of mind. When you know you have more than one way of earning, you feel less stressed. You don't panic if one client leaves, if sales dip, or if your company cuts hours. You know you have other options. That confidence allows you to live and work with less fear and more freedom. And when fear goes down, performance goes up. You think clearer, you act wiser, and you take smarter risks. Another advantage is speed. With multiple income paths, you can grow wealth faster. Imagine your job provides stability. Your side hustle adds extra cash. Your investments compound quietly, and a small online business grows in the background. Each of these may seem modest on its own, but together they create powerful acceleration. One path pays the bills, another funds savings, another fuels investments, and another supports personal goals. When combined, they can transform your financial life in a fraction of the time. There is also power in variety. Different income streams respond differently to changes in the economy. For example, your job might be affected during a downturn, but your online business might still thrive. Your rental property might keep paying even if the stock market dips. This balance gives you resilience. You are not at the mercy of one system. You have options no matter the environment. To start building multiple streams,
you need to assess what you already have. Look at your skills. Can they be used outside of your job? Look at your hobbies. Can they be monetized? Look at your time. Can part of it be invested in creating something new? Most people underestimate their resources. They focus only on what they lack. But when you focus on what you already have and how to use it differently, opportunities appear. Some streams will be active, requiring your direct involvement, like freelancing, teaching, or consulting. Others will be passive, earning for you with less daily effort, like investments, royalties, or rental income. The goal is to balance both. In the beginning, you will likely start with active streams because they require less money upfront. But as you grow, you should create more passive ones, so your time is not tied to every dollar. This combination ensures both immediate and long-term stability. Patience is critical. Building multiple income streams takes time. At first, the effort may feel bigger than the reward. You might earn just a few dollars from a new stream. Don't dismiss it. The goal at this stage is not the amount, but the proof that it works. Once you have proof, you can refine it, expand it, and multiply it. Small beginnings are the seeds of great outcomes. Another key point is consistency. Many people start a side project, get distracted, and quit too early. They expect quick results and lose interest when growth is slow. But the truth is, almost every income path grows slowly at first. Just like planting seeds, you must water and nurture before you see results. Those who stay consistent eventually see the harvest. Those who quit never do. Protecting your multiple income streams also requires discipline. Don't let lifestyle inflation eat up your new income. Too many people create side hustles or investments only to spend the extra money on luxury. That defeats the purpose. Direct new income into savings, debt repayment, or investments. Let it strengthen your financial base. Once your foundation is strong, then you can upgrade your lifestyle. Wealth first, comfort later. One of the most empowering aspects of multiple income paths is the freedom it gives you to make choices based on values, not desperation. When your survival depends only on one paycheck, you may accept conditions you dislike, tolerate disrespect, or stay in environments that drain you. But when you know you have other sources, you gain the courage to walk away from what no longer serves you. That independence is worth more than money. It is dignity. It is also worth noting that building multiple income streams teaches you adaptability. Each stream you create forces you to learn new skills, meet new people, and explore new opportunities. You grow as a person, you become more resourceful, and resourcefulness is the true wealth. Because no matter what happens, you can always rebuild. Imagine your future with several strong income streams. Picture the feeling of security when money flows from different directions. Visualize the pride of knowing you built them with your own effort, discipline, and creativity. Think about the options it gives you to travel, to invest, to spend time with family, to live without constant financial fear. That vision is possible. It starts with the decision today to create your first extra and then keep adding over time. Building wealth from zero is not about luck. It is about design. The design includes multiple income paths that secure your financial freedom. Each path you build is a step away from dependency and a step toward independence. Start small, stay steady, and keep expanding. The day will come when you realize your life no longer depends on one fragile source of income. You will have created a financial ecosystem that protects you, supports you, and allows you to live on your own terms. That is freedom, and it is yours to build if you take action now.
Chapter 9. Guard your savings daily with strong financial discipline. When you work hard to save money, the next challenge is keeping it safe. Saving is only half the battle. Guarding those savings with discipline is what makes the difference between people who stay stuck and people who build wealth.
Too many people put effort into saving, only to let their money slip away through careless spending, impulsive decisions, or weak habits. If you want to secure your financial future, you must learn to protect what you save every single day. This requires strength, commitment, and the kind of discipline that does not bend under pressure. The temptation to spend is always present. Advertisements, social media, and even friends can influence you to use money on things you do not need. It feels harmless in the moment, but every unplanned expense chips away at your savings. Guarding your savings means creating a wall between your future security and your present impulses. It means reminding yourself that every dollar you protect today becomes part of your freedom tomorrow. Without that constant awareness, it is easy to undo months of effort with just a few careless choices. Discipline is not built by accident, it comes from daily practice. Guarding your savings requires rules that you create and live by. For example, you can decide that your savings account is untouchable except for emergencies or investments. You can decide that you will transfer money to savings first, before paying for anything else. You can decide that once money is saved, it is no longer available for everyday spending. These rules protect you from emotional decisions, because emotions will always push you toward comfort and convenience. Discipline is what holds you to your long-term vision. One of the smartest ways to guard your savings is to separate them from your everyday money. If your savings are in the same account you use for daily expenses, it becomes too easy to dip into them. Open a different account, make it harder to access. Treat it as if it does not exist for spending. Out of sight often means out of temptation. Each time you protect your savings in this way, you strengthen your financial discipline. Another principle is to track your savings progress daily. Just as you track your expenses, you should know exactly how much you are saving and how close you are to your goals. This creates accountability. When you see your savings grow, you feel pride. That pride fuels more discipline. But if you notice your savings shrinking, you are forced to confront the truth. Tracking keeps you honest. It does not allow excuses to cover up mistakes. Guarding your savings also means saying no more often. There will always be offers, discounts, or opportunities to buy. Some of them will sound urgent, others will feel rewarding. But wealth is built by people who have the strength to say no when the purchase does not align with their priorities. Saying no is not about depriving yourself. It is about valuing your freedom more than a moment of satisfaction. Each time you say no, you are saying yes to your future. You also need to watch out for small leaks. It is rarely one big expense that destroys savings. It is the small daily habits that go unnoticed. Subscription services, frequent takeout, unnecessary upgrades, or impulse buys. These are the quiet killers of savings. Guarding your money means checking these leaks and plugging them quickly. Every leak you stop adds strength to your discipline. Discipline grows stronger when you attach meaning to your savings. Don't just save for the sake of saving. Give your savings a purpose. Maybe it's financial freedom. Maybe it's a home. Maybe it's a home. Maybe it's an investment fund. When your savings are tied to a vision that excites you, it becomes easier to protect them. Each time you resist spending, you remind yourself of the goal you are building. Purpose makes discipline natural. Without purpose, discipline feels like punishment. Another important aspect of guarding your savings is to avoid comparisons. People often weaken their discipline by trying to keep up with others. They see friends buying cars, clothes, or gadgets, and they feel pressured to do the same. But comparison is a thief. It steals your peace, and it drains your savings. Your journey is yours alone. Guarding your savings requires the courage to live differently from those who waste their money. Discipline means being willing to delay certain luxuries while others indulge, because you know you are building something bigger. There is also the matter of self-control when income increases. Many people save consistently at one level, but when they earn more, they raise their spending instead of raising their savings. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it destroys wealth. Guarding your savings means resisting the urge to upgrade your lifestyle too quickly. Instead, increase your saving rate as your income grows. The bigger the gap between what you earn and what you spend, the faster your savings multiply. Guarding savings daily also requires awareness of emotional triggers. Many people spend when they are stressed, sad, or even bored. If you know that your emotions lead you to spending, find healthier outlets. Exercise, journaling, or talking with a friend can replace the urge to spend for comfort. Protecting your savings means protecting yourself from emotional decisions that create regret later. Discipline is not just about money, it is about managing your emotions wisely. One of the strongest habits you can build is paying yourself first. This means transferring a set amount to your savings the moment you receive income, before you spend on anything else. When you do this, you ensure your savings are always protected. Too many people save only what is left after spending, and most of the time, nothing is left. By paying yourself first, you turn saving into a priority, not an afterthought. That one shift can transform your entire financial life. You should also guard your savings from unnecessary risks. Many people lose their hard-earned savings by chasing quick money schemes, untested investments, or promises that sound too good to be true. Discipline means being patient and wise. It means protecting your money until you are sure of where to place it. Building wealth takes time. Protect your savings from shortcuts that lead to setbacks. Accountability can help strengthen your discipline. Share your savings goals with someone you trust, or write them where you can see them every day. When you feel tempted to spend, remind yourself of the promises you've made. Accountability creates pressure, but it also creates support. It makes it harder to break your own rules when you know someone is watching. Guarding your savings also requires gratitude. When you appreciate what you already have, the urge to spend decreases. Gratitude makes you content, and contentment makes discipline easier. Instead of always chasing the next purchase, learn to see the value in what you already own. That perspective keeps your savings safe from constant consumption. Another powerful technique is visualization. Picture your future with strong savings. Imagine the freedom of knowing you can handle emergencies, invest in opportunities, and live without fear. Hold on to that image. When temptation comes, remind yourself of the life you are building. That vision will help you stay disciplined when your emotions try to pull you off track. Protecting your savings daily may feel like a challenge, but over time it becomes a natural part of who you are. Each day you guard your money, you strengthen your financial character. Each day you protect your savings, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted with greater wealth. And when you consistently show that discipline, opportunities will open. People trust disciplined individuals. Life rewards disciplined individuals. In the end, guarding your savings daily is about respect. Respect for your effort, respect for your time, respect for your future. You worked hard to earn that money. Don't let it vanish because of a moment of weakness. Treat your savings as sacred, as the foundation of your freedom. Protect it fiercely. Discipline may feel difficult in the short term, but it is what gives you strength and independence in the long term. One day, you will look at your savings and realize how far you have come. You will see not only the numbers, but the discipline and strength behind them. And you will know that guarding your savings daily was one of the wisest decisions you ever made. It is the shield that protected your future, and the key that opened the door to wealth.
Chapter 10. Commit to daily improvement until wealth becomes natural. Wealth is not a single event or a lucky break. It is the outcome of the choices you make daily, the habits you build over time, and the commitment you show to becoming better than you were yesterday. If you want wealth to become natural in your life, you must make daily improvement a way of living.
This is not about big leaps once in a while, but steady progress every day. The person who grows a little every day in knowledge, in discipline, in action, will eventually reach a level where wealth is not something unusual, but something expected and consistent. Daily improvement begins with awareness. Each morning, you should ask yourself what one thing you can do today to grow stronger financially, mentally, and personally. Maybe it's reading about money, practicing a skill, saving an extra amount, or saying no to an unnecessary expense. Small actions may seem unimportant in the moment, but stacked over years, they create a powerful transformation. If you want wealth to be natural, you cannot rely on random effort, you must rely on daily effort. There is a simple truth in life: you either improve each day, or you decline. No one stays in the same place. If you avoid progress, the world moves forward without you, and you fall behind. But if you commit growth, even in small ways, you gain an edge. The people who are wealthy did not suddenly become disciplined overnight. They built it one day at a time, through repeated actions that became second nature. Improvement turned into habit, and habit turned into identity. That is why daily improvement is so important. It reshapes who you are until success is natural. To commit to daily improvement, you need consistency. Consistency is what separates dreams from results. Many people start strong, but stop after a few days or weeks because they expect instant rewards. But lasting wealth is not built in days. It is built across years of steady action. When you commit to doing something every day, you stop relying on motivation. You build a system that runs regardless of how you feel. Motivation fades, but habits last. Daily improvement must become a habit, not a mood. Improvement is not just about money. It is also about character, health, relationships, and discipline. Wealth is the result of all these areas working together. If you are financially skilled but lack discipline, you will lose what you gain. If you earn more but neglect your health, your wealth will not bring you joy. If you have money but no control over your habits, you will waste it. That is why daily improvement must be holistic. Each day, strengthen yourself in all areas that matter, so that wealth has a strong foundation to grow on. When you think about daily improvement, think about margin. You don't need to change your entire life at once. You only need to make small changes consistently. Read a few pages of a good book. Save a little extra. Practice a new skill for half an hour. Wake up a bit earlier. Avoid one bad habit. These small margins compound. Over time, they separate you from the crowd. The crowd waits for change to come to them. You create change daily through discipline. Daily improvement also requires honesty. You must be able to look at yourself and admit where you need to grow. If you are careless with money, admit it. If you waste too much time, face it. If you avoid hard work, acknowledge it. Only when you are honest can you begin to improve. Improvement starts with truth, not excuses. Excuses protect weakness. Honesty builds strength. Every day, examine yourself, even briefly, and ask where you can be better. That awareness is what drives growth. Another part of daily improvement is focus. You cannot improve in every direction at once, or you will burn out. Choose a few areas and give them your energy. For wealth, focus on saving, investing, and building skill. For discipline, focus on routines that shape your day. Improvement is not about doing everything. It is about doing the right things consistently. If you improve in the areas that truly matter, the results will be life-changing. The commitment to daily improvement is also about patience. You will not see results instantly. Some days it will feel like nothing is changing. But understand this, growth is often invisible at first. The habits you build are reshaping your identity quietly, preparing you for breakthroughs later. Daily improvement is like planting seed. For a while you see nothing, but below the surface, roots are forming. One day, the results will become visible, and people will call you lucky. But you will know it was the quiet discipline of daily improvement that made it possible. Wealth becomes natural when improvement becomes automatic. Imagine a life where saving money feels as normal as spending once did. Imagine where learning daily feels as natural as scrolling on your phone. Imagine where investing regularly is simply part of your routine, not something you debate. That is what happens when you commit long enough. Actions become habits, habits become who you are, and when discipline becomes part of your identity, wealth is no longer forced, it is natural. Another important aspect of daily improvement is protection against decline. Life is full of distractions that can pull you backward. If you do not intentionally improve, you will slip into bad habits without realizing it. Daily improvement guards you against decline. It is like exercising your financial muscles so they stay strong. If you stop training, you weaken. If you stop improving, you stagnate. The world will not wait for you. You must move forward each day to stay ahead. You must also learn to measure your progress. Improvement without measurement is vague. Write down your goals and track your daily actions. Did you save today? Did you practice your skill today? Did you spend time learning something new? Did you control your impulses? Tracking keeps you accountable. It turns improvement from an idea into a record of progress. And when you see how far you've come, even in small steps, you feel motivated to keep going. Daily improvement is not about perfection. You will miss some days. You will slip at times. That is human. But what matters is that you never stop for long. One bad day should not turn into a bad week. One mistake should not become a pattern. Get back up immediately. Improvement is built on persistence, not perfection. The person who keeps going despite setbacks always wins in the end. To make wealth natural, improvement must also be intentional. Do not just go through the motions. Be deliberate with what you practice. Learn skills that directly increase your earning power. Save in a way that aligns with your long-term goals. Surround yourself with people who encourage discipline. Each day should have at least one action aimed at your financial future. Intentional improvement compounds much faster than random effort. Discipline grows stronger when you link it with identity. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to save," say, "I am a saver." Instead of saying, "I'm trying to be disciplined," say, "I am disciplined." The words you use shape your self-image, and your self-image shapes your actions. When you see yourself as someone who improves daily, you act accordingly. Identity anchors habits, and anchored habits make wealth natural. There is also joy in improvement. Every time you grow, even in small ways, you feel proud, you feel progress. That joy makes the process rewarding. Many people avoid discipline because they think it is only about sacrifice. But when you commit to daily improvement, you discover the opposite. Improvement creates satisfaction. It gives life meaning. It makes you excited to wake up and do better than yesterday. Wealth is simply the natural outcome of this mindset. Think about your life 5 years from now. If you commit to small improvements daily, saving, learning, investing, working hard, where will you be? Compare that to where you would be if you did nothing different. The difference is enormous. Wealth and freedom will belong to the one who chooses daily improvement. Struggle and frustration will belong to the one who ignores it. The choice is yours, and the choice is made every single day. The final truth is that daily improvement is not just about money. It is about becoming the kind of person who attracts wealth naturally. When you are disciplined, consistent, and focused, opportunities come to you. People trust you. They want to work with you. They see your strength. Wealth flows toward those who are ready for it, and readiness is built daily. So commit fully. Decide that each day of your life will include progress, no matter how small. Decide that each day will build your discipline. Decide that each day will move you closer to freedom. Over time, the small steps will become giant leaps. Improvement will become habit. Habit will become identity. And wealth will no longer be something you chase. It will be something you live. That is the reward of daily improvement. And that is how wealth becomes natural.